Hello everyone and welcome finally back to the Top Pauper Player Summer Edition 2026. We had some technical issues but we fixed them because we're literally in a boiling room here and our tech is suffering with us, but finally we're ready to watch the top 8 of the Top Pauper Player of the Year 2026. So we have the top 8 here right now, and there's a lot of huge good players and a lot of decks. So do we have the top 8 names? The answer is yes.
So we have two Red Madness with Pietro Bragioto and Postorino that we saw on streaming. We have two Jeskai Ephemerate with Novak and Ghiara.
Yeah.
And then we have a white Weenie with a player called Favetta. We have Trisolio with John Wildfire, and then we have Aldegheri with Naya Gates. So the top 8 is really diverse. We have two midrange, two control, a combo control, one aggro deck, and two Red Madness, which is an entirely inter archetype by its own.
It should be an interesting top 8, I think. It's really nice.
You see how much is diverse and versatile this top 8, and this is what is why Pauper now is so much fun. You can win with anything.
And both your wishes are here.
My goats, my goats, my goats are there.
The top Pauper player is always dominated by golden pigs in a certain way. So there's you are the top performers, or Lega Pauper Italia.
We did a good job. We were the only team. Now there are a lot of teams now. They are emerging and they are doing a good job. Also because Magic the Gathering is good to have a team and to play with people and interact with them, and also some strategy come up when you discuss impossible things like what if we don't play this card in this deck, what happens, and you start trying, testing, and guess what? Sometimes it works. So.
Yeah, I really love the way that Golden Pigs approach to Pauper. You guys have a lot of different ideas and different improbability ideas, so that bring a lot of good news to the format. But let's get into the first match. We have Pietro Bragioto with Mono Red Madness against Stefano Ghiara with Jeskai Ephemerate. Jeskai Ephemerate, that is one of the biggest revelation of this event. Was the third most played deck in the format. So
and also Stefano Lis is particular because he doesn't play the 3-mana artifact, the Bender's Water Skin card, because he think, okay, I don't want to play the full set of Ephemerate, I don't want to play the full set of Muldrifter because sometimes my opponent can run me out in the first turn, so they are kind of slow. While a card like Behold the Multiverse is the hidden gem for him, and I'm really excited about to see in action because I really love how the deck is built. There is no one-of in the main deck. They are all consistency, 2-of in every card. We see only one-of. There is the Breath Weapon in the sideboard, and for the rest, the list is really clean. And I'm loving this action. And I think Stefano now moved to 6, and Pietro kept 7.
So just remember that in the top 8 there is more time than a normal Swiss round. We have 90 minutes of Pauper, and there's no dice at the beginning of the match because the higher player in the standings, in the final standings, will always start, or will always decide who start.
Yeah, and obviously you decide that yourself is the person that start. And we see the powerful start of Sneaky Snacker on turn 2, and another draw 2 now with Fiery Temper. We see Pietro has 5 cards in hand, and his opponent is already at 15. It's a really huge deal. But now from Stefano, we are trying to fix our color with a fetch land, and we are representing counterspell. And we have our card that is beholded. It's foretold, sorry. And Guess what? There is only one playable foretell card in the format, almost. That is Behold the Multiverse. So when you foretell, it has to be hidden, but it's not
Oh,
really
what a
hidden.
surprise! It was a Behold the Multiverse.
Yeah, we were right.
Yeah, but we're seeing here the weak spot of Jeskai Ephemerate that need to spend at least 1 or 2 turns trying to fix their mana base, being able after that to develop their game plan. And Pietro Bragioto here was really nice and really good here to use that weak spot to lower as the least as possible the life points of Jeskai Ephemerate. So now to the bottom part of the table we have all colors that we need, and the Funged Flames on Sneaky Snacker. That card is brought to this deck for the Sneaky Snacker that was exiled from the effect of Funged Flames. Really nice and brought. And it's really shining here.
Yeah, Stefano
So-
is really well prepared to fight for Sneaky Snacker. He has 2 Fanged Flames and 2 Right's End, which is a powerful card that we see in action mostly in Standard, and now is kept doing well in Pauper. It's a 5 mana removal spell that exile, but if the target's a tapped creature, it costs 3 less. So it's only a 2 mana removal most of the time, which is really convenient. And
okay.
Pietro is trying to do his things of grab the prize with Fire Temper, which is really strong.
Yep. And
Notable thing, he can exile also a vehicle.
A
So
vehicle,
if in the future there will be some playable vehicles, it will be a really good thing to do.
Yeah, against the Monstertron that play the big vehicles, the big. No, it is the vehicle. No, it isn't a vehicle.
Not a vehicle.
Oh, no, it's
the
not a vehicle.
pinnacle.
Okay.
It's a ship.
Oh, it's a ship. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a ship.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is a Voldaren Epicure, but I think that for Jeskai Ephemerate player is enough and decided to concede the game 1 really quick for Pietro Bragioto.
Yeah, I mean, game 1, you have some cards that you can use to win, like Union of the third party. It's a huge way to gain life, but you're not really prepared for an aggressive strategy. Afterboard, we have 4 copies of Hydroblast, obviously, but also 2 copies of Envelopes, which counter all the draw 2 spell, so you can fight the card advantage.
Yeah, that is the core of the card advantage of Mono Red Madness. And being able to interact with them with additional counter is a good strategy for Jeskai Ephemerate. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the other side, Pietro is prepared for blue matchups. He has 7 copy between Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast, because it's a thing that you can do now after the unifying of Paper Pauper and online Pauper. And then you also can consider to put in Relic of Progenitus, which are really good against the Archaeomancer cards.
Yeah, the recursion part. But do you think
and
that
you can also put the Searing Blades to stop some Aguro Bolas Ephemerate shenanigans. So it's all good potentially, but we see how Pietro navigates the matchup. I think that he has a plan, obviously.
But do you think that the Relic of Progenitus are needed here? Because I think that Mono Red Madness want to be the aggressor here, so it's really worth to side all the 15 cards.
It's a matter of how many cards you think they are bad. Obviously, the Epicure, we say all the time, is always the worst card.
One of the worst.
And sometimes you get kept off. You might consider cutting some Fire Blast, because you cannot really go all in, sacrificing 2 mountains against blue decks.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really punish, so you want to trim some of that. You can consider also to cut Lightning Bolt for the Pyroblast. You can consider also to cut the looting effect, some looting effect, because you expect some envelope and you have a lot of them, and obviously looting is one of the worst. Or you can keep your deck as much as in game 1, because when you're sideboard out with this deck, when you overside you really feel the difference. So the deck is so strong that
you denaturalize the deck. Yeah, for sure.
The less you sideboard out, the less it's the better it is. So Pietro has for sure a plan, as well as Stefano. They are 2 of the most prominent Pauper players in Italy. So, and they are here in the top 8 of the top Pauper player 2026.
Yeah, he
not for a
also
chance.
had a lot of tapete Paupergeddons. He had a lot of winner at a lot of IPT, and I think that he also won a Paupergeddon
Pietro won a Paupergeddon, yeah.
with the
With
familiars. Yeah,
familiars, yeah.
in Lecco, if
In
I don't
Lecco, yeah.
against the Jeskai Ephemerate,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
don't remember if I don't remember wrong. By the way, I remember the semifinal of that tournament that he was, I think, against the Greeks Affinity. And on game two, he won game one, and game two, on third, sixth, or seventh, something like that, he passed the turn, then revealed his hand with only counters and removal. And at the time, the opponent watched the hand and decided to concede.
Yes.
It was a huge move.
Sometimes you show if your hand is really powerful. Listen, there is no way you can win this. So.
He had something like 3 counter, 4 artifact haste spells, so the opponent decided, okay, it's yours.
It's a chat move, and Pietro does a lot of chat moves, and I'm always on the humility part, and because you have to say humble every time, but sometimes being humble and being chat are the same thing.
Fair enough. But here we go. He Stefano mulligan to 6, so put 1 card back in the deck, and starting with one of the most common start in Jeskai Ephemerate, so Island plus Preordain. Top bottom, draw 1 card, but he doesn't cut the Volder and Epicure.
Yeah, it's a choice. His plan mostly be if I see a lot of Epicures can deal some damages, so it's fine to start with the Epicure. So he probably sideboard out something else.
Yeah. What do you think he sided out?
I
know that you know Pietro, so let's try to get into his mind.
I'm always a difficult time finding how the Mono Red Madness sideboard out, because all the players sideboard a little bit different and have a different approach to the games. Like this list without the Kessig Flame Breather, it's really different. It's focused on this card, a card draw to effect. So basically, you can also say that he built the sideboard that wants to have access to all the 7 Pyroblast effect against Mono Blue Terror, but against other blue decks. He doesn't want all of them. So
there's a Sneaky Snacker hit the ground.
Yeah, it depends on how many cards did he sideboard. If I have to guess, I think he sideboard in like 5 Pyroblast effect, and for sure, knowing Pietro, there is some Searing Blaze shenanigans. Because he Ivalus really hiked the card against the Ephemerate strategies, and I think he's about a card like Lightning Bolt. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. So that Sneaky Snacker was hit by a Ripe's hand that, as we said, exiled target creature, but costs 3 less if targets are tapped permanent. So Sneaky Snacker enters the battlefield tapped, so it's a pretty good target for that cards. So
Pietro has at least 2 Pyroblast effect, so
yeah.
He will try to stop the card advantage provided by Muldrifter and Ephemerate, but we see Stefano is casting a lot of Preordain, trying to dig for something, because he needs something, because the aggression is real now, and the Sneaky Snacker card is really doing what was designed for.
What he's supposed to do.
What he's supposed to.
Yeah. So that's a foretell card here. So Behold the Multiverse being foretelled. And here we go. It's a combat of 3 damage, bringing Stefano to 11 life that are really, really low against Mono Red Madness, and uploaded. So both part of the table wanna playing their spell for free in the next round. So
Yeah, I mean, plot discount everything. So for the next turn it's 0 mana, but he can only cast as a sorcery speed. But while foretell is a discount. So if the card is instant, you can still cast it as an instant, which is really convenient.
Yeah.
We see now Union the third part gaining some life, but really
Yeah, for life.
but really don't affecting the board now. So
Letting choose the token.
yeah,
That's one of
it's one of Pietro Chad
Yeah.
moves. Yeah. You love to see it.
choose your poison.
And
choose your robot.
we are seeing how this Melton Moxide, he drew 2 cards, he reanimated a Sneaky Snacker, he made a 2/2, and it's one of the most powerful cards if your deck is going to play against a lot of control decks.
So-
because the game is slow. So
There was an interesting choice here from Pietro that decided not to interact with the Hydroblast that he cast on Gato Snipe.
you're already hide on board. Your opponent has to interact with the board. You can save the Pyroblast because when he's affecting the board state, then he will provide to cast something like Archaeomancer to going ahead, and then you cast the Pyroblast in their turn, so they will not interact because they have to represent still the Hydroblast, because if not they are dead. So you are in control of the motion of the games, and
I think-
also you have
yeah.
another one.
That is the turn, and here we go. Pietro won the first top 8 match of top Pauper player. So I think that will be the backup table. But first of that, if we can, I want to show you one of the memorabilia that Mezzocello and Fran, one of the artists that is also a sponsor and a partner of Lega Pauper Italia, prepared for the top Pauper players. So this is the playmat that the champion of top Pauper player will brought at home, united with the trophy and with the
token.
Monarch token. Yeah.
It's the first time that I'm holding a Pauper trophy, and it's really nice. It's really nice. I like how it feels.
Yeah, I'm not. This is not the first time I touch it, but this is the only way I can touch it because I don't play Pauper anymore, unfortunately. So
You cannot win if you don't play.
But okay, I saw it differently. I cannot lose if I don't play.
Yeah, 0% loss
0%
on the
loss.
weekend. It's always fine.
So let's go back to the played Pauper and let's see what's happened to the second and backup table of top eight of the top Pauper player.
Yeah, there is Lorenzo that we already saw in action with his Naya gates, and then we see a deck that wasn't stream is Favetta Giovanni with mono white with white Weenie. What is interesting is this deck had a lot of new cards happening, like he has Leonardo Big Brother, there is excellent ninjutsu-ish card because the sneak mechanic is really most alike as the,
as we said,
the ninjutsu.
Giovanni already was in the coverage in the feature match, and we had the way to see how Leonardo has a big impact in the race, being ninjutsued with
Sneaked,
yeah, because it is not ninjutsu. It's a little different. It's pretty different, but it was sneaked for something like 14 damage. It was really huge and brought the match at home. So incredible.
So we saw from one side there is 3 Sneaky Snacker, and in the other side there is a little bit of a smaller board, but we are going onto the ground, but now with the Skyfisher we are trying to block. It seems that both they are missing land drops, but with the Skyfisher bouncing back the land, the White Weenie deck is trying to fight through to the things. And we have a Battle Screech discarded by the Raffinist format. That is one of the strongest cards in the deck. And now we can cast it with the flashback part. That is top 3 white creatures. That is really fun. We saw a 4th Sneaky Snacker. Maybe one Sneaky Snacker too much, but at least we will not see a 5th one in this match.
I think that the judge call is mandatory if we see the 5th.
Yeah.
But having 4 copies of that card over here right now is really, really huge.
But
They're dominating the board.
But we are staying back because now the board from Giovanni's side is huge, and there is a card like Guardian's Pledge that is really, really scary, and you have to account for it. And we are using the adventure, the omen cards of the
Elite,
of the elite, which is 2 mana,
so
tap a
it's
creature.
the prepare.
The prepared action. Yeah, sorry.
That is rejoin.
It's 2 mana, tap or untap a creature, so we use it to draw a card, and then we use 3 white creatures to make 2 white bird to fight for the Sneaky Snagger, and we see one of the strongest cards against a mono white deck. Guardian of the Guild Pact having protection from monocolor is unblockable in this match. I don't
unblockable
think
and also untargetable.
Untargetable, so yeah. It's one of the way you stall the board and then you fight through with the Guardians pumped by the Basilisk Gate.
Yeah.
But we have obviously
still no Basilisk Gate on the battlefield right now. Yeah, so
I mean there's also only 1 gate, so it's fine. Both decks plays a lot of prismatic strands, so we will see some board stall and some prismatic strands happen. So the game will be a little bit long.
What's the best way here to approach the matchup from the Naya part of the table?
Yeah, we only want to stop the aggression, and we want to make sure to trade off our snackers, to use it, then the flashback of Pursue the Past to bring them back and continue to block. While from Giovanni's side, we're really struggling without the 3rd land, and because with the 3rd land we can represent some Guardian's Pledge and having some attacks that we don't have it right now.
And here we go. He's flashbacking Pursuer of the Past, discarding 1 card and drawing 2.
So we are developing a mana base. We are going through our decks to find prismatic strands. So, and let's see if Giovanni found the 3rd land. I think no, he's using the Skyfisher to make his land drop and to use the 3 mana to widen the board. Remember, game 1, there is almost no one that plays Breath Weapon in the main deck, so you can normally wide out the board because there is no sweeper, and you need all the creatures on the board.
Yeah.
Also because Leonardo gets bigger in strength with a lot of creatures. And I think we saw there is other Battle Screech, other Trap and Charm. There is also Standard Bearer, because we are after sideboard. So we have Standard Bearer.
Also because Lorenzo plays the Guardian of the Guild Pack only in the sideboard.
No, he plays in the main deck 2 Guardians of
copies. Oh, okay.
So this sideboard in the Electricity from Lorenzo part, and I think also the Flaring Pain,
I think
which is really great.
Against the Prismatic Strand, the Flaring Pain is mandatory.
Yeah, it's attached for the mirror, and this is almost like a mirror of Prismatic Strand, so it's fine. From the other side, Giovanni sideboard in the Standard Bearer to fight through Basilisk Gate, because Basilisk Gate can target any creature on the board.
Not only creatures you control, so it's force you to target at least a Standard Bearer.
Yeah, the Basilisk Gate can target any creature on the board, so you have to target 1 Standard Bearer there is on the battlefield. And then
Hinterland Sanctifier is like the Soul Sister, so it gains 1 life when another creature enters the battlefield.
Oh, the rabbit, okay. Yeah, for the rally matchup, I think.
I don't think this is the matchup where you want
you should not
decide this card.
We are seeing the Basilisk Gates plus Guardian getting in action to try to close the game as fast as possible, because you don't want your opponent to trying to steal your game. We see an idyllic range that enters tapped, which is obviously the downside of this kind of lands, which are really, really powerful. It's a common cycling, which the blue was Mystic Sanctuary, that was banned, obviously, in Pauper, because it was a little bit too strong. But we see in also the other formats, the red one creates a 1/1 that is really good with creativity. The white one gets a +1/+1, which seem not really good, but it's really fine.
Yeah.
If you have a plane with upside, that can be cycled with the Eagles of the North card.
Yep.
That is fine. The green one, we see that in the elf card, the Digital Habit in combination with Quirion and
Yep.
General
Okay,
Sen.
okay.
And the black one is Witch Cottage, which is also played. So they're really powerful
But I
cycle
think that
lands.
only in BG Gardens, for example.
Yeah, in mono
Or
black and
BG,
something
mono
like
black.
this. Yeah, when you pair it with the cycler from the Lord of the Rings, create a powerful strategy for mono-colored strategies.
Yeah.
Because if your playing can do something better, it's always better. There is some downside of it. That is what the idyllic ranch with only 2 lands, but yeah, the paid off it's really great.
Yeah, you need to do it. You don't want to waste the land drop. But as we can see, as you said before, there was a standard beater that has been removed with the Trab and Charm. So Lorenzo wants to activate successfully their Basilisk Gate here, both of them at least. So there was removal here, and there's a flashback of Bruce to the past that discard a sacred cat that has been exiled here.
So what we need now to resist is some prismatic strands, and obviously for Lorenzo not having a Flaring Pain, that could buy us a couple of turns to set up, because now we are drawing the lands and now we can develop. So it's really fine if we have the strands.
I needed to see the art of Flaring Pain because I'm feeling like that guy right now. I'm literally melting. So I surely fraternize with that guy.
So we are trying some attacks powered by Guardian Plage.
Yeah, I'm melting down myself.
What if Meltdown will be downgraded in Pauper?
I think
no
that
way. It is no way.
really.
But it could be so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But trying to hit artifacts is always a good time. I think that artifacts need to be contained.
Yeah, they're too
Affinity
strong.
is one of the strongest strategies ever.
But
It's an evergreen of Pauper.
Yeah,
so
but maybe Meltdown is too much for it. It will.
artifact is never too much.
We have a lot. So we are blocking everything, almost everything.
There's a lot of chaos, but White Weenie was
also-
overwhelmed by Lorenzo Aldegheri with their Guardian of the Guild Pack. So we have both of your Golden Pig friends that passed the first step of the top 8 of top Pauper player of the year. So really nice.
Yeah, it was really not a bad, because when you're sure of something, it's not a bad. So not that.
I let you change your provision of before that you choose Pietro.
Yeah, I have to choose Pietro, and yeah, Pietro helped me a lot in my Pauper career. Like when in Pisa, I was desperate for a deck in the Ponza.
Oh, I remember that.
In the Ponza meta, and it was like everyone is doing bad things to me. How can I stop Ponza? And he suggested me play Affinity, but now everyone will Ponza me. Don't worry, Refurbished Familia is too good, and he really understand a lot of the meta, and is one of my provider of the of deck choices. I remember also one time when I qualified for the online Pro Tour through a Magic Line Pauper super qualifier. It was with one of Pietro deck list, one with Dimir Ferris, with the technology of Bonders Ornament in the sideboard to fight through all the Bonders Ornament there was in the tournament, and it was really great becoming friends with Pietro. And obviously I have a lot of memories with also Lorenzo, because both of my top 8 was also their in top 8s. So we both topated with Glee also in Rome, and we topated him with the Goblin combo and me with Affinity in Pisa. So we back to back together. So it was really special. But if I have to choose,
Pietro is your choice.
My heart has to be with Pietro.
Fair enough, fair enough. So you confirm
Yeah,
what he said.
also because Lorenzo doesn't want to me to say that he's going to win. But because we all know he's going to
for
win.
Pietro is normal to be chosen for this kind of provision. So
Yeah, it's my goat, it's my horse. I have to choose him.
So we had both of the top 8 that was brought here to the coverage table for the top 8 of the top Pauper player here. We're waiting the other 2 tables, but we have no another backup, right? Okay. So we'll take a little break. And then we'll be ready for the semi-final of top Pauper player here in Lucca 2026. See you.
Bye.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Paupergeddon Summer Edition 2026. It's time for another deck test. Here with me, there is one of our best guests. Here with me, giving one of the men inside of Wizard, one of the men of Pauper Panel, one of my best friend and people that I really like to have here. It's a pleasure to have you again here. And I want to say here for the first time, I really loved the statement of the Pauper panel around the last banned list, because was a nice thing to have for the community. Was one of the best things that you can say to the community, where everything was clear, everything was just, I lay down my card on the table, and I just want to show how much we care about this format. And that was the truth. Everyone accepted. Everyone loved it. And so thank you again for that.
Oh yeah, you're very welcome. I think we even cite Paupergeddon in that article as like an important thing we're looking at or that we're caring about in making this decision. I know not my general theory with banned announcements is not everyone's going to agree, and this was pretty controversial in many ways, so I wouldn't expect everyone to agree. But at least if you lay out the reasons why, everyone can understand why you did it. And you can talk about the reasons, but at least it's not a mystery. You know why it happened, and then you can talk about the theory behind it, right? So that's my hope, and I'm excited to see what happens this weekend. And we got our eye on a couple other cards too, so we'll see what happens.
Yes, it's great. But now focus on your deck and your choice for the Paupergeddon. You already played the trial. You lost the by win and in against another guy inside of Wizard.
Yeah, I brought my friend Abe to this tournament. He's a fellow designer. He's been playing Pauper at the office. And in round 3, we're both 1-1. And so it wouldn't be funny if we played in the finals. And lo and behold, 4 rounds later, it's round 7. We had a matchup against each other. And I'm glad one of us got the bye, but it's unfortunate to lose.
Yeah, but your deck performs very well. And it's very strange, I will say, because this deck is under the radar. No one except that this deck was something really cool, that was good in this meta. It's not something that you see very often on Magic Online. So why you choose to play this deck?
Well, it's actually got a funny story behind it. So I came to my first Paupergeddon 4 years ago.
Yeah,
2023 was my first time. Had a great time. And Mirko lent me, I was like, hey, you want to borrow a deck? And he lent me the red-white synthesizer deck. And I loved it. I totally fell in love with this deck. I absolutely loved Synthesizer. The next year I came back to Paupergeddon, and I was trying to figure out what deck to play, and the night before, Modern Horizon 3 had just come out.
Yeah.
And the night before the tournament, I brewed up a red, white, black Synthesizer deck that no one had ever really played before, and then I played it in Paupergeddon and 9-0'd the first day. Unfortunately, the wheels kind of fell off on day 2, but I felt really good about that deck and that brew. I've always loved this deck. Last year I came back here, and I was like, I kind of want to play this deck again, and everyone's like, do not play Marty Synthesizer. It is so bad in the meta right now. You cannot play it. And I was like, I mean, I want to. I love the deck. It's so fun. But they talked me out of it. And I ended up playing some other deck. I went 1-2 drop. And in the meantime, Marty makes the top 8 last year. Yeah. That could have been me, you know? Yeah. So this year, I just decided months ago, I was like, no matter how bad this is in the metagame
I will go straight for it.
I love this deck. I care about this deck. I got all the cards basically in foil. Like, I am playing this deck. I am locked into this deck.
Yeah. I mean, and this is one of the great things, if you think about it, about Eternal format. You choose an archetype, you choose the card that you love, and you decide to play it. And if you are good at playing them, they reward you. This is one of the best things of Magic. This is why we love Magic and why we love Eternal Format. You pick your archetype that represents you in the real life, and in your way to express your mood, and you play that, and you explain this. I want to play this because this is me.
It's so fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I love playing this. Right?
Yes.
I mean, and also I think it helps that Pauper's metagame is so large. We'll talk about our matchups here in a second, but like at the end of the day, who knows what you're going to play in that field tomorrow,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
you can play against a ton of different decks,
Yes.
and so I'm just going to play something that I love and I'm comfortable with, and I think has pretty tight matchups across the board, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so but just go down and sneak inside of the list. There are some cards that I think they are must have in this deck list. There are the rats.
Yeah.
This is the main reason to play black, I would say.
That's the reason to play black, right? I mean, the engine of Synthesizer plus Spore Skyfisher and Glint
Yes.
has been used all over the place for a while. I love it. It's super fun when you get it rolling. When you're doing it, like, you can have no cards in your hand and cast like 6 spells the next turn, right?
Exactly.
It's so awesome. But this edition of the Familiar really helps out a lot of your matchups and is really, really, really strong.
Then you have this card that was great because it's a way to grind your opponent and to don't play a lot of burn spell or like creature to attack your opponent, just remove 1 per 1 and play like a June style modern deck. But then I have a question. Why you don't want to play Prophetic Prism?
Yeah.
Why don't play the card that was in the banned and restricted list for a long time, then it came out, and it seems a very good card here.
Well, first I'll talk to the Black Mage's Rod for a second. So the Black Mage's Rod is huge in this deck because sometimes the board gets gummed up, and like I said, maybe you're casting a bunch of spells in one turn, and you can ding them for a ton of damage. Like, for example, Writhing Chrysalis is a tough card to play against for this deck.
Yeah.
But usually they can't attack into you either. So if you have a couple Black Mage's Wrongs, you can just ping them to death really easily, right? This card, some people only play 3, and I play 4 because it compounds so much, right? If you draw 2 or 3 copies, it's really easy to start killing people.
Yeah.
With your question about Lembas versus Prophetic Prism, I like the Prism. In fact, when it got unbanned, I was like, this might be a great place to put it in, help out the mana a little bit. But with Red, as popular as it is, and Red is actually, I think, one of the harder matchups, the life gain is just too important, right?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be able to dig yourself out those last few life points, and the card selection as well. So while ideally, like a different metagame, I might play like 3 Lembas, 1 Prism, or even split them 2 and 2. Here, I just think I need the Lembas.
Yeah, and I want to go down for last question of the main deck, and the question is Clashing Wildfire. Because this deck has some trouble with the mana base. We all know that 3-color deck in Pauper has trouble. Then some fetches came out. This is a great addition to play 3-color. But then you build around a build that can play gates plus Wildfire that help you to develop all your color.
Yeah, so one thing that's really unique is you look at a card like Cleansing Wildfire, and normally you expect it to be a deck full of like 4 and 5 drops, right?
Yeah.
This deck is very deceiving. Yes, a lot of the cards cost 1 or 2 mana. In fact, basically everything fundamentally costs 1 or 2 mana in this deck. But you need your mana a lot. Like, you'll do a lot of play Glinthawk, Back Synthesizer, cast Synthesizer, play other spells. And so you actually need to have like 6 mana a lot of the time in this deck. And so getting ahead on mana with the Wildfire really goes a long way. This is something I was not playing, and then last year I saw the guy that made top 8 at Paupergeddon actually play it, and I really liked it, so I picked it up. And I was skeptical at first, but it's been really good for me.
Yeah, this card is very good because your deck basically is very mana angry in the fact that you need red, white, black, and so it helps you also to develop these colors.
The other thing about it is it also has some great incidental damage against other decks. Like if you play against Tron or Gates, you can just hit those, which is really good.
Yeah, also because against Tron you have some troubles, at least in the main deck, and so you have 4 single effects that could help you. Okay, just go to the sideboard. In the sideboard, I see a lot of cards against the red deck, but there is one card missing, the Shaman, the goblin that help you to kill all the opponent creature, sucking artifact. That was something that we saw in the main deck. but at least in the sideboard. Why you decide to remove it?
Yeah, and I've even played it before in the past at Paupergeddon. I think it is actually not that good in the current metagame right now. The most played the token red deck is very good against, but the most played red deck with sneaky snackers I actually don't want it against. Sure. I'm not going to play any toxin analysis, so like it's not good against terror or anything like that. Which leaves like elves, and it's very good against elves. Do not get me wrong, but I like my elves matchup a lot. You'll know a lot of people only play 3 lightning bolts. I have 4 lightning bolts in the main deck. I have cast in the fire in the sideboard.
The card is amazing against elf.
So I really tech to make sure I'm pretty good against elves. I could imagine, I'm going to go back tonight and look at my sideboard, maybe tweak 1 or 2 cards. I could imagine like a single Card Clan Shaman makes it in there, but it's just, I think it's not very good right now, unless you play like specifically against elves, really.
So maybe this is why you choose to play only 1 munition in the sideboard.
Right, like a lot of the decks that munitions is really strong against, like fairies and elves, I like my matchups against. Like I really like my fairies matchup in general. You can lose against fairies, but I'm generally like my fairies matchup.
Okay, so last question is, what is your best matchup that you want to find every round in Paupergeddon, and what is the matchup that you try to sneak out?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'll say this is a deck on really narrow margins. I feel like my matchup against everyone is always like pretty close, and I can beat anybody and lose to anybody, which is scary but also exciting, right? It means your play skill really ends up mattering a lot, and your draws matter a lot. The matchup I want to play against the least probably is the mono red sneaky snacker burn deck. I can beat it. I have beat it. But it is just like, if they get a good draw, it's so hard to beat. Game 1 is especially rough. Game 2, you get the Navigator's Compasses and the Spell Bombs and things like that help you out. But if they get a draw bunch of snackers, it can be really, really tough to fight against. Usually, a lot of the blue decks I'm pretty happy to play against. Like Fairies, I feel pretty good about my matchup against Fairies. You can lose to it, but I feel good about that. Ephemerate can beat you with a good drop. Once again, I feel decent with my Ephemerate matchup. So happy to play against some of those blue decks. But really, haven't played this deck a lot. Every time I sit down, I'm never like, this is going to be an easy matchup. Because some get Pauper, you're like, okay, this is going to be easy or hard, right?
Yeah.
I always sit down and I'm like, all right, I got to lock in. This is going to be another grind him out game. And this deck goes like 40 minutes every round at least. So you really got to play it well.
This deck feels me like remembering about Death and Taxes in Legacy. You are a deck that doesn't have very good matchup and doesn't have very bad matchup. You just sit down and play real Magic. We want to play Magic here. Yes, okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you to be here in the deck tech. I hope you enjoy this Paupergeddon in this huge forum. Now that we are in Lucca with more people, I think it's a nice thing for the community. And this is something that really vibes how much people care about Pauper. It's not about be the best player in the Pro Tour or be someone that is very famous. We are all here because we love the community and we love to play with that card.
Absolutely. I mean, just seeing how much Paupergeddon has grown, even in the time that I've been going, it's amazing, right? 3 a year, 1,000+ players basically each time. Like, it's great. And the community here is incredible. So I love coming back. I'm going to keep trying to make 1 a year if I can. So
okay. So thank you so much, Gavin. And thank you all for watching. I hope that you are enjoying the streaming and see you next for the next match. Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Thank you for waiting. I'm Emma Partlow. I'm here with Nico, and we are here to bring you the semi-finals of the Top Pauper Player.
Yeah, I'm really excited to stream this event, and for the first time of Paupergeddon, I will stream something.
So for context here, Nico is the man that does the stuff behind the scenes. He makes the Paupergeddon coverage like kind of tick and work.
Wow, yeah, this is too much. I just moving around the location, say hi to the people, and there.
You sort the feature matches as well. That's very important.
Yeah, this is true. But I'm really happy to stream something, and finally I can say thank to all the guys that are here, to you, to all the men under the computer and inside of something that are working there to help us to create this content. I'm really excited.
And the cool thing about Top Pauper Player, it's all about bragging rights. It's all about saying, yes, I am the top Pauper player.
Yeah, I am the best one, no?
Right. And like pride is a really important thing. And you get this really sick trophy.
You have a trophy. When I took that trophy from the booth, I just moving around and say, I'm the top Pauper player, no?
You kind of fancy it. You look in the mirror, it's like, yeah, like I look great with this trophy, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's really exciting that at the beginning, top Pauper player was only something about Italy community,
of course.
Italian community, and now is something made with other community. There were players from Poland here. They were playing from all around. And next year, we will have player from Manila.
No way.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Because there is the first league there. And they will bring their champion here to play the top Pauper player.
To crush the competition.
Yeah, this is basically the pro tour of Paupergeddon.
It is, right? So we have 4 players left.
Yeah.
Long day of magic for a lot of people. If the guys are ready, let's go down to the feature match and start covering. So we have a really fun one of a Mono Red Madness mirror. Which is probably determined by who's on the play and who's on the draw.
Yeah, this is for sure. I would say that Mono Red Madness will win the matchup.
That's a very safe assumption. Like Sneaky Snacker is going to win, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I think that the player that starts has I think, 10% of winning more this matchup. Okay, and as we see, there is Pietro that started with a draw 2, discard 1 card, put Sneaky Snacker in play.
So with Highway Robbery, there is a secret part of text that you put a Sneaky Snacker into play.
Yes.
You can't see it, but it's just there.
Yeah, it's under of all the flavor text, but this card is great because help you to have a draw engine and also to play this card for free.
Yes.
Sneaky Snacker, I think it's one of the best cards in Pauper right now.
Agreed. Yeah, it doesn't have a mana cost, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many draw discard engines in Modern Magic these days. It just comes with the Sneaky Snacker.
This is amazing. Grab the prize for double Sneaky Snacker that basically destroy the play of playing Lava Dart on Sneaky Snacker. And you see here the power of this card, because basically for no mana cost, you have the possibility to bring back this card multiple times.
Yes. It feels a little bit like Vengevine.
Yeah,
if you're familiar with that card,
this is the card.
The mana cost is like there, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, this card is a bit more power than a common card. I will say that, you know?
One question I want to ask you. How do you feel about white bordered cards?
I really love white border cards.
Really? Yeah. You're like the first person that's very excited about
my
it.
favorite edition is Unlimited.
Sure.
I play only unlimited cards if I have the occasion to play them. So I really like white border card, but not that much. I really like to play white border card if you have an edition that you could play white border card.
Sure.
That are a bit too much. But Pietro is a guy that play a lot with this card. You love to have only white bordered card. And you can see another interaction here. Yeah. You play the artifact that help you to draw 2 cards.
Melded Moxite is very good. From Edge of Eternity is a very good card.
And then you discard Fiery Temper and you basically have another Lightning Bolt.
Yes.
So basically your deck is made of draw to discard one card, and in that way you can play multiple times Sneaky Snacker.
Yes.
And as you saw, Giovanni Postorino didn't have the occasion to put a really pressure on board because he played the Epicure, he gained some life, but the value of Sneaky Snacker is too much, I would say.
There's like 3 Voldaren Epicus, which doesn't do a lot in this matchup, in my opinion. Like the blood tokens are nice because it allows you to fuel those fiery tempers and those other madness spells, but it's just like against the Sneaky Snacker, it just doesn't line up, right?
Yes, I think Blood Token are very good in this type of match because at one point you lose resource and you draw the 5th mountain and you say, fuck, this is too much.
Yeah.
And you have the possibility to discard this to find another card. But if you establish this timing when you draw 2 cards, put Sneaky Snacker in play, and your opponent have to reply every time to that, this is too much.
So
And
we have a Lava Dart on the Voldaren Epicure.
yeah, I think this is a way to handle the number of turns that your opponent needs to kill you. You want to increase the timing of one more turn. In that way, you have the possibility to kill your opponent faster.
Yes. I mean, life totals again there. We've got 12 meets 11 at the minute. It's that kind of matchup where it's going to be a lot of low life totals. And we've got a fiery temper here.
On Sneaky Snacker.
On Sneaky Snacker. Through this blood token as well, which is just a really good tool. And Pietro is able to follow up with a Gut Snipe. Being a Lightning Bolt in response to a Lightning Bolt, because Gut Snipe is just really good at just adding that damage on top, right?
Yeah.
And they've decided they respect the mirror and that they've sleeved up.
Yeah, and as you saw...
Shuffle it up and go into game 2.
Yeah, and as you saw, the biggest thing of Sneaky Snacker was what happened this turn. Basically, Postorino has to play a bolt on Sneaky Snacker and doesn't have the way to respond on Gutter Snipe.
Yes.
So basically, Sneaky Snacker also it took away from your opponent some removals because you have to reply to them because they are too strong. They make a lot of damage, so you have to reply, and then you can play this uncommon card for free.
Yes.
So we can look at the sideboard here.
Yeah, what do you sideboard in the mirror? So, like today, we haven't really talked about mirrors in Pauper. We've done a really good job of just like avoiding the mirror, but since it becomes into the top 8, single limb, like you have to respect the mirror. So what do you bring in?
Yeah, one card that I would love to bring was like we saw in the streaming Pillar of Flame, because it was a really good card because it's an uncommon card, so we cannot bring there, but it was great. Sorry. But also, I think Searing Blaze is a card because you have a way to reply to your opponent and the creator of your opponent, and in the same time making damage to him. But the mirror of red cards are a bit too strong, you know? Because you don't have the right Pyroblast, the right blue elemental blast to reply to him.
Yeah. Like, it's very one-dimensional, right?
Like, it's like the mirror of blue cards, but in the mirror of Mono Blue Tron or Mono Blue Fairies, you have the removal that you cite for Chrysalis to make them.
You have like 10 cards that are just no good against the mirror, right? Because the idea of coming against the mirror is just so uncommon in Pauper. Like, you can't tech for that. So you just kind of have to, it's like a concession of like, cool, this is a thing that you just have to deal with. In particular, when it comes to Mono Red Madness Mirror, which is a very aggressive spell-based mirror, like, it's very play-draw dependent.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
Which is not great when it comes to like coverage and whatnot. But at the same time, it's just like sometimes that's how Magic kind of falls.
Yes.
When it becomes a top 8, right, or semifinals in this instance.
Yeah, I think the only good card, except of Searing Blaze, that you could bring in is Relic of Progenitor, because it's a way to reply to Sneaky Snackers.
Agreed, yeah.
And to Lava Dart. But it is also a bad card, because you want to draw it at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
Because after is 2 mana cycle 1 card.
Yes.
And it's one of the cards that doesn't play the role of the game because it's not a card for your deck.
Right. And I was saying to Mengu earlier in the previous round in the Swiss, that the mountains in Mono Red Madness just go that bit further because they're fuel for Lava Dart, they're fuel for Fire Blast, which also triggers Gutter Snipe for extra few amounts of damage. Like the ceiling on the basic mountain is just so much higher compared to an island or a plains, for example, just because of the cost of these spells.
Yeah, but I think Pietro was favored because he was on the play because of the standing. And so for this reason, I think that Pietro has a really advantage for these top 4 matches.
For what it's worth, this is very common when you have aggressive mirrors, like Boros Burn in Modern when it was a thing. Play draw dependent was very relevant, right?
Yes.
So, and it applies here. It's not saying, hey, like sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But it also applies to, say, Modern. It applies to stuff like Legacy.
Yes, I think if you are on the draw, you have to risk to keep end that are very strong if you draw the perfect card, like one more lands, but you have a very aggressive land. You cannot keep medium end on the draw.
Yes.
I would also say that also on the play, if you keep medium end, you could probably lose. But at least if you are on the draw, you have to focus on your plan as much as possible.
Agreed, yeah. And there is the temptation to play like dual lands in Pauper, like the indestructible artifact lands for Modern Horizons 2. There's something elegant about running like 18 basics.
Yeah, I mean...
Like Terra, you got mono red, like mono white. Elves is another good example.
Yeah, this is the essence of Pauper. One color with a perfect mana base and go for that.
Basic lands are just so elegant in Magic. It's very underrated. We don't talk about it enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also double white border basic lands are great.
We've got a mirror match of Vodar and Epicure. He's Vodar and Epicure right now.
Yes, I think the plan of Pietro could be to trade this Epicure, indeed, because he wants to establish the board.
Yes.
And his idea is to play the control role now.
Yes.
For this reason, Giovanni Postorino plot the card, doesn't play the card immediately because he doesn't want to lose the ability to play a Sneaky Snacker.
You highlight a really good point, Nico, that we don't talk a lot about Burn in general, where Burn can be a controlling deck.
Yes.
It doesn't have the tools in a traditional way where you have like counter spells in like a traditional, like say Jeskai Ephemerate or Azorius Familiars, but Burn is able to be like, yes, I'm going to use my removal spell on this creature and then on this creature. Like I played a lot of Boros Burn in Modern over the years, and the Death Shadow matchup is really interesting because you have to play that control role.
Yes.
And it's very underrated in Pauper too, in my opinion.
Yes. I mean, red control in the history are deck that can play this control role.
Yes.
In standard, you have a big red that are burn deck in game 1, and then they establish this big mana.
They play a big dragon and use that
or
as
Planeswalker or something like that. And here you're playing something similar. But instead of having this advantage with Planeswalker and big creature, you're trying to establish this thing with your Sneaky Snacker. So as we saw here, Pietro was able to recover the disadvantage of being on the draw, playing Sneaky Snacker, and using the Mox Light, the artifact, to go through that.
Yeah. So in the top 8 of this top Pauper Player event, which is an invitational event, bringing European Pauper into one venue in Lucca. So the top 8 is, or was, 2 Jeskai Ephemerate, 2 Madness, which we're seeing right now, a Naya's Gate, a Mono White Aggro, a Jund Wildfires, and also Azorius Familiars, which just feels very familiar specifically to Italian Magic. They love a good Familiars deck.
Yeah. People in Italy loves to play Familiar. Also, they love to play Control deck, and this is why probably Jeskai Ephemerate make good results here.
Yes.
But also, I think Jeskai Ephemerate is a very good deck right now.
Agree.
With the new artifact from Avatar.
Water's Bender Skim?
Yes, this card is great because it helps you to play multiple spells for free, and basically in the turn that you play it, if you are able to use the 2 mana, you basically play a 3 artifact for just 1.
It's one of those cards that reads like, this is like good for Commander, in particular,
Yeah.
like Avatar decks, but it also has applications in Pauper, which is always good to see. Like, I'm a fan of Jeskai Ephemerate. I love the idea of it. I'm not a good control player personally, but I also love Muldrifter as the card. And Ephemerate, like, that's just
it's the essence of Pauper.
like
no?
it gives you like the warm feeling. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna draw a bunch of cards and have a 2/2.
Yes, and as you see, if you come back to the match, Pietro was able basically to play no burn spell, but his controller has plenty of cards in hand, and he just put pressure with Sneaky Snacker.
Yeah.
And Pietro basically has a limited number of resources in hand. He has to develop the 1/3 that is not that great because he just died to every cards of Pietro. And now, for example, Giovanni has to sack a land to reply with Lavadar to Sneaky Snacker, and Pietro was able to play the Searing Blaze that made 3 damage to Giovanni, put and destroy his creature, grab the prize, discard a land, put Sneaky Snacker on back, and I will pass with 4 cards in hand. The Sneaky Snacker in play again.
Any draw, it kind of feels like any draw discard spell in Pauper just says, this comes with a Sneaky Snacker.
Yes.
I will say, on a side note, I love the unglued mountains from Pietro right now. They're very classic and gives that old Magic feeling. You got unglued versus like 8th edition.
Yes.
Just a nice aesthetic. I like basic lands are a really cool part of Magic in general. It says a lot about a person, and 8th edition is extremely underrated in my opinion.
Yes. And I want to highlight the power of the list from Pietro, because Meldel Moxie is a great card because it's basically replaced the role of Laces Losing.
Yes.
That was a card that create disadvantage. It's very good for aggression, but it doesn't fit well if you want to be in the control side. So basically you have a card that helps you to discard Sneaky Snacker, and then it recharge you with 2 cards, and also create a 2/2 in the late game. So you have a way to kill your opponent, and as you see now, you play your Gutter Snipe, and then Faithless Losing that basically is card disadvantage.
Triggers.
Yes, it triggers, you have card disadvantage, and if Pietro reply to you with a bolt here, basically you are discarding 2 cards, and you pass your turn with only 1 card in hand. Instead, Pietro has double Sneaky Snackers plus 3 cards.
So to just highlight what's been talking in the chat right now, I believe, feel free to correct me here, Nico, I believe it's Azorius Familiars versus Jeskai Ephemerate in the other semifinals.
In the other semi-final, we have Naya Gates against Blue-White Familiars.
Yeah, my bad. So it's Naya Gates, Azorius Familiars, and 2 Mono Red Madness decks. One of those decks is going to get through to the finals because we have a mirror currently.
Yes. Unfortunately, both Jeskai Ephemerate lose in top 8.
That's upsetting because Muldrifter deserved a lot better than
Yeah, we have Blue-White Familiars.
Yes, that too.
Okay. So basically, you push all your Lava Dart here to try to make as much damage as possible, but you still pass with only 1 card in hand.
Yes.
And 7 points of life are a bit too much. You just have to draw Fire Blast plus Bolt.
Yeah, 7 is a really awkward number, especially in Pauper, because burn decks tend to work in freeze, right? That's a very traditional way of...
Yes, but as you see, Pietro has a lot of resources now, so he will put more damage as possible. And you know for sure that the next turn you will lose.
Yes. Also, just going back to that point, that mountains just have this secret text of deals 1 damage because of Lava Dart, deals extra damage because of Fire Blast. Oh yeah, if you have a Gutter Snipe or a Keswick Flame Breather in play, congrats, you get some extra damage. Like the basic mana, when we talk about like basic lands in Pauper, mountain just comes with like extra stuff compared to something like islands or forests or plains. We're figuring out what we're doing here, because the mirror is not an easy thing to navigate.
Okay, Pietro shows to the opponent the hand. Yeah, look, I have
Lava
Bolt,
Dart,
Lava
Bolt,
Dart,
and
Epicure.
Epicure, yeah.
I think you are dead next turn, so try to go for it.
That's a hell of a flex, by the way.
Yeah,
So Bolt
yeah,
and
yeah.
Epicure dealing 1 damage. I think the
It's
captioning is
done.
blood token, and then there's the handshake.
So-
So Pietro takes it and ends up in the final as the top Pauper player for this year.
Yes, so congratulations to Pietro Bragioto to be there, to achieve the final of top Pauper player is something, we can switch to us, I think. Okay,
Yeah.
so going down to the final of top Pauper player is something really, really strong. Also because this year is a year with more leagues.
Yes.
It's if time by time we are arriving to the top Pauper player as the Pro Tour of Pauper.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
The backup feature match is still going, which is Naya Gates versus Azorius Familiar.
Yeah, so I think we could switch there, no?
Yep.
Yeah, here we go.
We can jump there because we have Seasons of Miss of Naya Gates here. Somebody that's just like Lorenzo is just somebody I assume just has like a Pauper challenge top 8 to their name, just like every week, because they're just that good at Pauper. Like I remember Lorenzo being great at like Dredge, for example, for a while, and now with this Naya Gates deck, even with the Seeker Bow, they managed to win a challenge before they hit the ban. It's like this Naya Gates deck is still good despite of the combo, like that being banned, and that says a lot.
Yes, I saw someone streaming where they say something like that. Naya Gates plus the combo was basically Naya Gates without bad cards, without filler cards.
It kind of feels like Splinter Twin in Modern, right?
Yeah.
You have this like mid-rangey controlling game plan. Oh, surprise, I have this combo to seal the deal, right? You're not doing the combo first. Like a good example, I think, recently would be like Baskin Brew Scale in Modern.
Yes, exactly like that.
Just has a different axes of attacks, and it's like, oh, surprise, I can do the combo thing. Oh, wait, I win. Surprise. And Seeker Bow feels very similar to that, right?
Yes, as I said before with Gavin interview, I want to say thank you to all the top Pauper panel and the Pauper panel about their way to pose the banned list, because you explain very well what is the point of this ban.
Yes. Context is very important to us because, like, zooming out for a second, banning a card doesn't feel great because you're taking something away from someone. It's like, cool, you're not allowed to play this card anymore.
Yes.
So I feel like it's us on the PFP to explain why we're doing that and talking about the different like perspectives of why we're doing this. And Seeker Bow, very Splinter Twin, Baskin Brew Scale coded, right?
Yes.
And
okay, back into the match, I think the only way that Gabriele has here to win this match is to go for like the combo or the loop.
Yes.
Because you have Guardian of the Guild Pact, that is basically the true nemesis of Pauper.
It is, yeah.
Plus Basilisk Gate. So there are a lot of damage here coming from Sneaky Snacker, plus the Guild of the Guardian of the Guild.
So we have a Ghostly Flicker here, which is just a really good card, especially when you have two Sunscape Familiars that cost 1 mana.
Yeah, I think splashing a lot of color here in this deck is kind of free, because basically you have this gate that play the role of multicolor land, and you decide which double land they are,
and now we
basically on your hand.
We have a Mnemonic Wall, which is a very classic Pauper Cube card.
Yes.
I've definitely gone off with Mnemonic Wall in my over the years.
But as you see, we will have a game number 3 because the combo shows.
Yes, like Azorius Familiars is one of those decks. I think the best way to put it, it feels a bit like Amulet Titan in Modern, in the sense that if you play it on Magic Online, there's a lot of goddamn clicking you have to do, and you have to respect the clock in Magic Online, which is a lot shorter compared to something in person. And like the fact that you can shortcut some stuff in paper definitely helps, but you really need to know the intricacies and the inside outs, and you really just need to play like every kind of matchup you would anticipate, because it doesn't win quickly.
Yes, yes. I mean, the power of blue-white familiars is the fact that basically you are playing a control deck.
With a combo finish.
Yeah, with a red button. It was something in the past that remember me Scape Shift with Cryptic Command, Remand, and this kind of cards.
Also, shout out to Misplaced Ginger, is somebody who finishes on a lot of top 8 modern standard challenges. He's just decided to raid us. So thank you very much, and welcome to those who joined the stream. Yeah. We are in the middle of the semi-finals of the top Pauper Player. This is not Paupergeddon 2026. That starts tomorrow. This is an invitational only event where if you win, you get to brag that you're the best Pauper player, and that just seems really sweet. I don't know. And you get a trophy, you get some play mats, you get some tokens, and you're like, yeah, I have this thing that says I'm the best Pauper player in this invitational event.
Also, you will win a buy for tomorrow.
Oh, sure.
So if you already have a 1 buy, you can win the second one. That is a huge thing for a 2-day tournament.
Sleep is important.
Yes, and also a very big card from Wizard.
Ooh.
So you basically with a giant card that you can show to your friend and say, I want these.
I also slept in and you had to play a game of Magic. That is, like, sleep is super important in these kind of events because they are really long days, right? Like today, for example, we had 7 rounds of Swiss and a top 8. That's like 10 rounds of Magic for some of these people. That has a mental tax because it's a lot of time just thinking, especially in the Lucca heat, which is like 35 degrees as well. So
blue-white,
mad respect.
Yeah, a lot. Blue-white familiar could bring in for sure Stonehorn Dignitary. This card is kind of cool against someone that want to attack you.
As somebody who used to play a lot of Bogles, like back in the day when it was like 3-4 colors and you weren't Selesnya, I really dislike this card because I could not win. But it's also very good in this matchup.
Yes, it's very good. Also, you have the Last Breath that seems a very good card. Glorious Gale is also a really interesting card. You have basically this card that counter creature that has also the ability, if you play some legendary spell, to have a ring that tempt to you.
Yeah, me and Mengu were talking about this earlier, and it was just like, it feels like an old card in its name, but it was in Lord of the Rings, which was like, what, 3-4 years ago, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense, considering Universes Beyond is bringing all these legendaries into Pauper, and basically has the text of, I am hexproof from the card Cast Down, which sees a lot of play in Pauper. Like, it's cool that innovation is following with the trend of like Universes Beyond sets and all these legendaries as well.
It's very cool because now you can counter a Ninja Turtle and you have back something like the ring that tempt to you that is I think it's a strong mechanic for Pauper.
Yes, I'll be honest with you. I don't know anything outside the ring tempts you outside the first line that it turns the card into a legendary. That's the only thing I remember because it was very much a limited mechanic as opposed to a constructed mechanic.
And also the creature can be blocked if the power is less about of this creature, and then it helps you to draw cards.
Yes,
if you go stronger than this. Okay, Naya Gates Mal, for sure, this could be a limit of Naya Gates. You are basically playing 4 colors.
Yes.
And so it could be possible to have these awkward ends with multiple sneaky snackers or things that match with your colors and things that are not. So this could be problematic for blue-white familiars also because you want to have all resources because you know that you are playing against a control deck.
Yeah.
But also you need to put a lot of pressure because you know that at some point he will just kill you with a combo or with the loop of Dignitary.
Yes. It's very hard to break up a Stonehold Dignitary loop, in my opinion, especially if you're a deck that doesn't have any way just to like break it up in through like disruption or counter magic.
Yes, Lorenzo will bring for sure the Pyroblast.
Yes.
These cards are very good because they counter some stuffs.
Yeah.
But I don't know, if you mull to 5, you want to have something that just goes straight, I would say.
Yes. So we're going
Okay.
to journey to nowhere. This Godfarer's.
Yeah, this is super aggressive, no?
Yeah.
Because you are basically removing something that puts the life total of Gabriele a bit higher,
Yeah.
but it's part of the combo. So you decide to go just straight for that because you want to put pressure. You
Yeah.
know that if your opponent slightly gain damage, you will not be able to kill him
Yes.
before of the combo.
The one thing about Familiars, there's a lot of high toughness in the deck. You have the Godfarer's Faithful, you have the Sunscape Familiar, and it
Yes.
just soaks up so much damage on the ground that Lorenzo just needs to kind of break that up as much as possible. And with the passive life gain of Godfarer's Faithful, it's just good to be proactive, in my opinion. So this Journey to Nowhere looks good to me.
Yes, I don't know. Yes, double
And then there's a
journey to
second
Nowhere.
one.
Yeah. But still, you didn't put pressure here.
No.
You just remove his threat, and he can just develop another one per
Yeah.
turn because he doesn't have to hold mana for counter. He has Prohibit in hand now.
Yeah. I will say the Naya Gates isn't very good at being the control
Yes.
deck as opposed to Familiars, which is built to be the control deck.
Yes, Naya Gates is something that I will say is just tailored fit for Pauper.
Yes.
It's something very different from what you see in other formats.
Yes.
And it's not that just the Jan deck. It's something more that is this board presence and want to attack with creature, gain advantage with the lands, and all put a lot of tokens there and just try to grind you with your life.
You want to just generate as much material gain on the battlefield because
Yes.
Pauper is inherently an engine-based format, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that just you either sacrifice or discard resources to get more cards and more material gain on the battlefield. It's just like an intrinsic nature of the format.
Yeah.
But the
Okay.
the thing is with the Sunscape Familiar, it does reduce the cost of a bunch of spells in Gabrielle's hand, especially all those counter spells, stuff like Prohibit and like Mold Drifter, like that will definitely come up as a
Okay, and now you is shown one of the new addition to the deck, a card that help you to draw 2 cards and also to gain life that here doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it has also flashback. That
Yes.
is something really cool against mono red deck.
Yeah.
No?
The 2 life is more relevant than people realize.
Yeah.
And like when you're looking at commons through the lens of limited, it's like 2 life is just like whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. But in Pauper, it's like, cool, that's like 2 Kessig Flame Breather activations. That's like a gutter snipe trigger.
Yeah.
Like it adds up, right?
This is something like I will survive 1 turn more, so I will win the next turn, or I will just stabilize the board.
It fogs combat damage from a Mold Drifter, for example, which
Yeah.
just can add up.
Yeah, and here you saw has Lorenzo tried to stop the recursion of Muldrift plus Ephemerate. That is something really cool here with Trap and Charm. But Gabriele has 1 mana available to play Prohibit. This is something like a game changer because I just basically go away from the turn then when you try to kill me, and now I have so much card in hand, and the next turn I will develop my card advantage. I will go to like 8, 9 cards in hand, and I can put pressure. You are just attacking me for 2 damage. That is not too much. It's very hard for Lorenzo here, I think. Pyroblast is a good card because you need to remove the Muldrifter. If not, the next turn, Gabriele will draw through 2 more cards.
Yeah, Mold Drifter basically reads if you line up your Ephemerate correctly. It's like I draw 4 cards, and that's how the Familiars deck wins. It just buries you in
Yes.
card advantage. And it's like, oops, I have this combo which I can win,
Yes.
and then you just can't do anything about it. So respecting the Mold Drifter here is a really big play from Lorenzo.
Okay. Gabriele tap 4 mana, so he has
Okay,
1
Mansa.
mana more available for Ephemerate.
Yes.
So he play Ephemerate to bring back Prohibit.
Yep.
And so basically you establish a loop. Basically every turn you have Ephemerate back plus Prohibit.
Ooh, a
Snap
snap hit.
here is great because for 1 mana you untap 4 mana.
Yes. And that's how the ephemerate, like the familiars deck wins. It uses cost reduces. It uses spells that untaps your lands, which happens to be an Azorius Chancery, which taps for 2, and you can just create this momentum. In the sense of like resource advantage, right, which is something Naya gates can't really match in this instance.
Yeah, and this is crazy good because now with the second Ephemerate, you bring back Snap that basically play like a counter for your removal spell on my Archemancer, and also help me to untap more lands if I need to play like I want to save my Archemancer plus I want to counter your spell.
Yes. So we've got Pauper looting here from Lorenzo.
That is okay because you discard Sneaky Snacker again.
Yeah.
But you didn't bring back them now, so I don't know. It's just like a slow dying here.
And there comes the
indeed,
handshake, just to
Yes.
admit, like, yeah, I'm probably not beating this. So Gabrielle goes through to the finals, and we have an Azorius Familiars deck in the finals, which is not something I would say at the start of the day, to be honest. Not to say Familiars is a bad deck, but it's just one of those decks that's just so intricate. Like,
Yes.
it's not something you can pick up the day before and go, yeah, I'm gonna play this sort of thing. Like, you need to have like the inside and outs, right?
Yes, I will say that half of the final was something that we expected, like having Mono Red Madness was something that we know is the big guy in the room. We know that the deck is crazy good and he has more powerful play with Sneaky Snacker, and we know about that.
Yeah.
But Blue White Familia was something under the radar.
Yes.
Because it's a deck that we know is good. We know that people in Italy are very good at playing it, but was something that seems a bit underpowered for the current meta, no?
I'm going to use the Amulet Titan reference again because I think that does a really good job of explaining of like kind of what it does. It's one of those decks that you just can't pick up in like, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do this stuff. And it's like, it's a really hard deck to play, and there's a lot of lines, there's a lot of nuance. You need to understand the Pauper format as a whole to like get it, or in this case, the modern format. And that applies to familiars where like, you are basically a blue-white control deck, and it's like, oops, I can do this thing that makes me win, right? And it's all about timing. It's all about patience. And that is really hard to, like, learn if you're just new to the deck, right? It takes a lot of time. You need to figure out the matchups. There's a lot of different kind of matchups you can play in Pauper because it's just such a versatile sort of field.
Yes, I think the deck is good, but it's not something that you saw here in the streaming, and then you say, yeah, I will buy all these cards, and I will play in my next Friday night.
And you're like, oh, I'll get 0-3, and it's like, what did I do wrong? And it's like, well, there's a little bit more to it, right?
Yes, it's something that rewarded you to play as much as possible.
It's one of those decks where you're going to lose a lot before you start winning, and it's very easy to be disheartened. It's like, oh, I've lost. Like, I went 0-3 in my Pauper Weekly. I guess this is not for me. And it's like, well, no, because if you learn something from it, then it's basically a win in a way, right? And I could tell you right now, the modern Amulet Titan players who started picking up the deck when they were like, oh, this seems cool, they lost a lot.
Yeah.
But they weren't disheartened by it. And I think that applies to familiars as well.
Yeah, I think this is one of the nicest things about Magic, because there are some things that are not straight line. So basically you have a way to improve yourself inside of the game. And there are plenty under all the formats. You have like Amulet Titan, as you said, Blue-White Familiars, or in Legacy a deck like Doomsday, that you need a big book of the piles to understand how you want to win the match. And this is crazy good because at one point you know that you can buy all the cards and you can just go to a tournament and play the deck, but there is these things that rewarded you to play more the game.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it requires a specific kind of Magic player, right? It's not for everybody, and that's totally fine. The greatest strength of Magic is you can find something that you enjoy, whether it's you want to lose a little bit for a bit and then go, oh, actually, I think I'm turning the corner, I'm starting to get this, or I want something more streamlined. Azorius Familiars is one of those decks I think I love in Pauper because it's so unique.
Yeah.
Right? You would not get it in any other format. And it's just a strength of like deck building creativity and the stuff that people come up with. And now it's in the finals of the top Pauper player.
Yeah, and this is great. If you are a great player of Blue-White Familiar, you could be in this final. This is super
And you
cool.
get a sick trophy, you get some playmats
You
and
can
some
have
tokens.
this is great, no?
And this is basically the warm-up to Geddon tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It gives us a really good insight of what we're expecting tomorrow. It's like 1,000-ish players, give or take.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I was surprised to see Jeskai Ephemerate seen so represented this like today. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Muldrifter, but it's like, will we see that tomorrow, or will it be more Madness or Terror or Mono White or even Elves, which won the last Paupergeddon?
Yes, I'm not sure that tomorrow we will see that much Jeskai Ephemerate player made high score, because this is one of these decks that stress you a lot. And so for many rounds, it's very hard to play. Like today, tomorrow we will have 8 rounds and then another day of Magic. Instead, here you have like 7 rounds, so it's a bit easier.
Paupergeddon is very similar to what some Magic players will call like a Grand Prix. Before the pandemic, you go 6 and 2, you can day 2, and then if you do really well, you get a top 8 berth. Today, this is like 10 rounds of Magic, which is like a lot on the mind, right? It's not easy to do. With that, semifinals are all wrapped up. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to do the finals of top Pauper player, and we'll give this nice snazzy trophy to somebody who gets to brag to the rest of the room. It's like, yeah,
okay,
I'm the top
see you
Pauper
later.
player. Yeah, see
Bye.
you. Stick around. We'll be back soon.
Okay, so we have a really fun activity here. I'm gonna draw something on this playmat, and I have an order to be the first one, so I will leave space for all the other artists. And since I really like to draw badass ladies, I will probably start with one. It's really difficult to talk and draw at the same time, but I'm just thinking she's fighting someone, and who you will learn in the next episodes of the show. Let's give her 2 swords to be even more cool. Well, it's impossible to do this completely not without thinking, so I had some vague idea that I'm starting with. She needs some armor to fight, of course. Well, I made some mistakes, but you know what? Life is full of mistakes, and we'll try to get over it. And we'll give her bracers and some cool wings. I hope the next guys will make it super epic fight with some monsters. Okay, this is our lady. That was really stressful. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
And welcome back to the final round of Top Pauper Player of the Year 2026. This is the day one of the weekend where the Paupergeddon take place, and we finally go into the final part of the tournament. This was a huge tournament, and this is the last match where we'll have the champion of this year that will win this fabulous memorabilia, a playmat, a limited edition token, and a huge trophy made by our artist partner Mezzocello and friends. So you asked for a lot of Pauper, you had a lot of Pauper, but there is more. There's the most important part here from the boiler room of Lucca Fiere. I think that the table is already okay. So let's get deep into this final part of the tournament, and we'll have one of your golden pigs, Pietro Bragioto, to the top part of the table with his white bordered mono red madness versus Gabriele della Longa with Azorius familiar. And as I can remember, this is the same deck that faced themselves in the final of the not the last Paupergeddon, but the Eternal Edition. So that final was won by Mono Madness of Giovanni Postorino that we see in this top 8, but now Gabriele della Longa could have their revenge of the archetype.
Yeah, so normally you think that a deck can go infinite life. It's supposed to be good against mono red, but the truth is in the details, and the details is that you can gain a lot of life, and mono red will not care because of the Gato Snipe that we see that is Pietro is doing like the obvious nuts of the deck. There is grab the prize, discard Sneaky Snagger into Gato Snipe, and it's almost safe because from the familiar part we only have snaps
that to interact with the Gato Snipe.
They are good to have some time walk, but the Gato Snipe will be deployed also in the other turn, and we don't see in the main deck card like Essence Scatter. We have Prohibit that obviously has a prohibitive kicker cost in the matchup. It costs 4 mana to counter the Gato Snipe, and we see Negate as the counter chosen by Gabriele. That managed to arrive in the finals with familiars playing really tight and really good games that we managed to see a lot in the streaming area, and we have double good Pharaoh Faithful into a Ponder that see a snap, so it's really what you are looking for.
Yeah, you need to have the time to cast that that snap on the Gato Snipe, because this is really important. And at this point, at this stage, even simple decision stop being so simple, because you have a lot of pressure. This is the final of the most important Pauper tournament of the year, of the LPI competitive year. So this is a really good. Oh, and there's a grab the prize that deal 4 damage to Azorius familiar, and we to 12 lives is really
we are not safe. We only have Lava Dart plus Lightning Bolt, which is 11 damage, so we are 1 short because we don't have the Fire Blast. So we managed to untap with familiar, so the big scary turn is passed, and now we will try to develop something with the snap that we find in combination with Soundscape familiar and the bounce lane. So really one of the oldest strategy in the format to get ahead and get explosive turns. So we are trying to get in control of the game now, while face a difficult start. And we have double familiar, so we are a couple of steps away of the infinite combo. The combo basically starts with 2 familiars, which is the important part, because Ghostly Flicker will cost only 1 mana, and we have the Faithful, and we just need the Archaeomancer card or Mnemonic Wall to get infinite life, constantly targeting with the Ghostly Flicker the Archaeomancer card plus.
But pay attention to the Red Madness. It doesn't allow anything of that, because recasting again the Gato Snipe and discarding 2 Lava Dart with the Faithless Looting allow Pietro to burrow at home at least game one real quick. But let's see very fast what's the side card here. Let's start from Azorius Familiar.
So for Familiar, obviously you want Blue Elemental Blast. You can consider Glorious Gale as an Essence Scatter effect against Gato Snipe. You could also sideboard in the Traben Charm that is good both against Sneaky Snacker and to remove the Gato Snipe. And you want the Last Breath because you can also target your creature to gain 4 life, which is a good side effect of the things. And I think that's it. What you want
also a removal for every every impactful creature in Mono Red Madness.
Yeah,
it
and
exile the Snacker and exile, of course, also the Gato Snipe. That is one of the biggest threats that Familiar need to face here.
Yeah.
And from Pietro at the really straight sideboard, we already saw a lot of times today, but we have 4 Pyroblasts and 3 Red Elemental Blasts that are really huge here.
Yeah, they're for sure in. And then there is a point for sideboard also the Relic of Progenitus against the Infinite Loop combo and the Searing Blades to manage to kill the Sunscape Familiar while still developing some damages. And what's important is, as always, you don't want to cut a lot of cards of your main deck because your main deck is really good and you want to keep it functional. So we will see if Pietro will decide to sideboard a lot or only the Pyroblast like he did in the last matchup.
Yeah. How many Blue Elemental Blasts does...
Only 4.
Only 4.
Only 4, not the 8.
There's an interesting choice here, playing Blue Elemental Blast over the Hydroblast, also playing the Murmuring Mystic, because you can cast for free with a non-legal target to create a token. But I think that's...
Against Mono Red, it doesn't make a lot of a difference.
That's not the spot,
because normally you have something that you want to counter or destroy.
But I think that Murmuring Mystic also is one of the first cards you need to cut in this matchup because it's too heavy.
You have to win at some point, but obviously we see 3 copies in the main deck, which is a lot in this matchup. But we'll see. We have also the Mnemonic Wall technology because obviously there is infinite loops with Mnemonic Wall that can be done with Archaeomancer because Archaeomancer costs 2 specific blue mana, while Mnemonic Wall costs only 1. So multiple Sunscape Familiar will discount the Mnemonic Wall to get able to snap into our infinite loop combo because we really win if we have infinite life.
Yeah, Gabriele was not on camera on the top 8 match, but he won with the Mnemonic Wall.
Yeah.
Doing an infinite combo against the Jeskai Ephemerate. Yeah, so he chose to go back to the Mnemonic Wall loop. That is not so played anymore.
The difference is that if you build this deck to play on Magical Line, it's basically a control deck. Yeah. It's not a combo because you cannot execute Infinite Loop combo on Magical Line.
Wow.
While in real, you have the option of pressing the instant. Okay, I won. Yeah. That's it. So these kind of decks that seem slow are really much faster in real because you can do things
in the
like
main wall, there was an interesting exchange of resources here. The Sunscape Familiar was bolted and Grab the Prize brought back the Sneaky Snacker from Pietro.
Mortal Imari is really huge because we have a handful of counter while we have nothing to go on, and this Muldrift in combination with the Snap can provide a lot of cards. But obviously we are seeing Snap also targeting the Snacker to being able to preserve the life, which is a thing that I like a lot because if Pietro doesn't have another discard draw effect, it's really bad to have a Snacker in the end. And now we can evoke Muldrifter, which is really smart because you don't want to pay full
5 mana. Yeah.
5 mana to get your thing wrapped while you have other counterspell.
Yeah, need to preserve interaction and to impede the Gator Snipe to resolve. I think that's one of the...
Back-to-back Muldrifter and
He said no.
He said no, but now you are trying to, okay, maybe I can use this negate because I really need now some cards. And the situation seems the same as last turn, but it's slightly different as often happens in Pauper, because for one turn he developed the second rep, so it's actually unlikely that he has another rep in his hand to protect it, grab the prize. This is exactly what happened here now. So I like a lot how Gabriele is navigating the matchup.
Yeah, he's a really professional player of Familiar. He's really fast in their choices, also with the pressure of a final. So I really appreciate the confidence that Gabriele has. And there's a Glorious Gale here. Nice.
I mean, when you play this kind of deck that are so complicated that you cannot miss anything, when you're having a final with a deck like this, you are for sure.
You get a big punishment if you
have to be good. You have to be good.
It has a lot of choices, so it's mandatory to play it perfectly. Yeah.
Now we see the side part of the Lorian, which is when you can cast it.
You can also cast it to draw 3 cards.
And you know what? 3 cards is a lot. It's also for 4 mana. It's good. Yeah. Obviously, there is a way to pay only 3 mana. And there is also some cards that let you do it for 1 mana, which happens to be very powerful. Not in this
1 mana draw 3 cards. I think that really nice.
Yeah, it should be played in some format. And we see also that we can cycle the fetch land from Modern Horizon because we have access to the Mortuary Mire. That is the only black source of the deck. That is really huge. Mortuary Mire is really one of the MVP of the deck.
That's a trouble shot that exiled the graveyard. Throwing the Sneaky Snacker in the exile forever. So really nice play here.
We have another gas lamp. We have found another gas lamp. But obviously, we want to use the mana for metal oxide and to maybe trying to bolt the familiar and the faithful. And now we see Mnemonic Wall.
Mnemonic Wall is really huge here because it requires more resources from Mono Red Madness to get rid of, instead of the Archaeomancer that die from a single bolt or oh, nice. So Pietro Bragioto doesn't like to waste time, so he decided to concede.
You know the decks a lot because obviously you want a Paupergeddon with it, and you know that is under a lock because with Mnemonic Wall and Ephemerate you keep getting your blue elemental blast back, and it's every turn is difficultier than the last turn.
He knows that he'll never resolve a drawing spell anymore, so he decided to save us from wasting our time and wasting his time conceding the second game of the final of this top Pauper Player. So I don't think that there are any changes between being on the draw or on the play, especially in Familiar.
Yeah, for the sideboard not, but it matters a lot between, like, with familiars you have to navigate also your mana base with the bounce land and stuff like this, so you want to play your tap land at some points, which are really difficult to hold mana to interact, and Pietro can, it's really, Mono Red is really smoother on the play, also because all the untap lands.
And this is also the important to have a perfect run in the Swiss rounds. If you conclude the Swiss round at the highest place possible in the standings, you will start every game in the top 8.
Yeah,
it's really huge, really important.
It's a huge, really, the Mono Red Madness.
Yeah, especially with Mono Red Madness that that has a crucial start when it's on it is on the play.
So Bragioto is mulliganing because he didn't like his hand. He has, I think, only 1 lander, and you're not supposed to keep a 1 lander. While Gabriele is keeping, I think he's nap kept. So his hand should be. I
saw a lot of a pair of Muldrifter, a snap, a Godfather's Faithful, and a bounce land.
Yeah, so we have a bounce land on the draw, which is not ideal, but we can cycle Lorien to get also the blue-white dual land, which is what is considering right now to do it, because if you do the bounce land, you go to discard, but you're fine to go to discard, I think, in this spot.
So discarding a lava dart with the mock side and plotting.
Yeah, they're playing really fast.
Yeah.
They're playing really shortcutting a lot.
Yeah, they're a professional player of their deck, so especially Pietro Bragioto that plays mono red since years.
So this card is a snap. So we want to develop our Faithful in combination with Preordain to gain some life immediately. And obviously, for a 0-4, there isn't a lot of removal spell for Pietro's side, so you have to accept, okay, you have a Faithful, it's fine.
And there's another preordain that allow to doing a lot of card quality and gain one more life. Every life is so important here, but that's important instead of the plotting highway robbery that allow on turn 3 to get a free 2 damage from Gather's Knight. That's really huge. First of in this matchup overall. So that's a ponder.
We sacrificed also a mountain, and I think Pietro has no other land, so the plan is not working really well. We really need another land to do our things, and
that's huge.
This turn is really huge. It's really huge because you got ahead far away.
Way!
The perfect, the nuts.
We saw the sportsmanship of Pietro Bragioto that recognized the superiority of the play of Gabriele della Longa that won the final of the top Pauper player.
Yeah,
wow!
It's not the first time that we see a turn like this when you develop Sunscape Familiar plus Nap plus Muldrifter plus Ephemerate, and then the opponent immediately concedes because it's a really powerful play that if you got to do it, you are so far ahead, and the game will be really a mess from that point on. You will be always
unrecoverable. I think that Pietro is a really professional player and is really good to recognize that pattern where you're not be able anymore to get in the back in the game. So it's really amazing. I didn't expect that the final will go so quick. So
I called it after our top 8 match. I was like, Familia won, okay, he probably will win the whole tournament because the two red players was offside, and I thought it was really playing so good that it was okay. But I think it's the deserving. Yeah, to bring a deck like Familia that was like that 2 months ago, a month ago, and every time
is the second top Pauper player in a row that was won by Azorius Familiar.
Yeah, in narrow metagames with a smaller field with good player, Familia is one of the best choice for the metagame. And I think it will lose a lot tomorrow in the main event because there is a lot of matchups, the spread matchup that you can get. But obviously, I think there will be a lot of good performances by the Ephemerate players in general because their deck is progressively getting better in the meta game. So, and they are all experienced in the motion. So I think we will see a lot of Ephemerate decks tomorrow.
Yeah, but you think that there will be more Jeskai Ephemerate or more Azorius Familiar?
As a number in the metagame, I think there will be more Jeskai Ephemerate, but overall, I think the win rate will be better for Familiar.
Familiar will convert better.
Yeah, after the one, it will convert a little bit better. A little bit better.
Familiar is one of the deck since the Paupergeddon exists that has one of the best conversion rate in the field.
Yeah, because if you think that, okay, I have to do 15 rounds, 14 rounds with a deck that it's supposed to be really complicated and really slow, while we saw that it was really smooth in the motion, really good to play, but it's still complicated, your brain will fry if you don't know exactly what are you doing. So Familia is a deck,
and for sure the temperature doesn't help here today and tomorrow and for the weekend.
Yeah, so if you bring a deck like this, you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
most of the time.
You need to know.
Yeah, you need to know. If you are getting well in the tournament, means that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that I need to bring Gabriele here. Is it possible?
So
ma tipo subito?
We're asking for the winner to come to get these prizes.
But I'd like to bring here also Pietro. I'd like to talk also with him, maybe after Gabriele, if they want, for sure. So Gabriele Dalla Longa with Azorius Familiar is officially the new champion of Lega Pauper Italia. Is the new top Pauper player of the year 2026. And here we go. Here we go. Come here.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So you played really smoothly during the tournament. We saw you a lot of times doing tight plays, and you overcome all the difficulties of navigating a deck so complicated. And how do you feel about tomorrow also for the Paupergeddon, for the main event? Do
Yeah,
you think?
tomorrow I'm not gonna play familiars.
Okay, why?
Because I'm gonna play another deck. I'm gonna play Pestilence because
Okay.
that's the deck I tested like for some months now.
Okay.
And but I didn't want to play like 2 or 3 days straight of Pestilence because it's a suicide. So I just
Yeah.
decided for a funny deck, familiars.
Okay. So you won today with familiars, and we'll see how tomorrow you'll manage with your pestilence deck.
We'll see.
And this is yours, by the way.
Thank you.
And you also have a playmat from our sponsor, the Mezzoshell and Friends.
Fantastic.
And you also have a token, I think. Yeah, you also have a token. You are
Monarch?
now the monarch for this year, and this is
I have
what
to
you
give
get.
it back next year.
No, it's yours. It's yours. For this year, for 2026, you are the champion of Lega Pauper Italia, and you can brag about it because it's a
Of
huge
course I will.
recognition. You have to. So they're getting calls. All wants to talk with the champion, and
When I was doing the Weenie, I got a call from one of my friends watching the streaming, and it was luckily I didn't hear it, but I saw it
okay,
later.
perfect. So I think we will also have Pietro, or we are not. So you're also getting Pietro because he also managed to get in the finals
Yeah,
and
yeah.
was really good.
Very good player.
And how do you do in the Swiss? You 6-1. You lost to.
I lost to round 1 to Storm.
So
RG
you
Storm.
you lost round one
Yeah, and then I
and
won,
never
like,
lose spades.
9 games. in a
9
row.
games in a row. Just
Yeah.
play good and be good.
Yeah, and I
Perfect.
didn't sleep for 38 hours now.
Okay.
Because tonight we were in a villa here in the
Pa-
swimming
pa-
pool. So
Perfect to play
yeah,
a
and
deck
I'm
like.
gonna go in a coma at home.
Yeah, perfect to play a deck like familiar without sleep, without losing the first round and say, yeah, that's it, I will start to win it now. Perfect.
Yeah.
Really huge performance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So we're getting also Pietro?
No, I'm not.
Oh, Pietro is gone?
It's gone.
So we are closing now.
Yeah, I think that we are going to wrap it up, but we had a lot of high quality pauper today. Finally, we'll have a huge tournament. I think that the way Lega Pauper Italia approaches to this kind of tournament has reached the final form. So I think that there are a lot of skilled players compared to the first editions of top Pauper players, where there are a lot of more casual player, and the quality was not high like today. So
Yeah, I mean,
we had
the
a huge tournament.
The narrow the field, the better the player normally. Yeah, you have to, if you want to do invitational to be successfully, normally you have to restrain the players. And I think next year will be a little bit narrow also,
Yeah,
because
I think
you said
yes.
there will be the changes. But for today's, all we have to do is saying tomorrow there will be the day 1 of Paupergeddon. We will be here from 9 to 9:30.
Yeah,
we
around 9, yeah.
it's an Italian thing, you know. It's
a very Italian
yeah,
thing.
I suppose the start is at 9:30, but
So the tournament, so day 1 of Paupergeddon will start at 9:30.
okay, so
So
for
the
the
live will
streaming,
start, yeah.
we should be live at 9.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we will see 8 rounds of very good Pauper magic. Remember, the cut for tomorrow is 6 and 2.
Yeah.
So only the player with 18 points will
18 points.
advance
Correct.
for the day 2. And in the day 2 we will have
6
6
rounds
rounds.
of Azorius, yeah.
And also all the other side events, because here in Paupergeddon we want all the players to play all the time. That is the
Yeah.
beauty of doing an event like this. There is something to do for every person that comes.
Yeah.
There is the artists, there is the vendors, there is the draft pit
And
area.
there are
the
also a
chilling
lot
area.
of content after the day 1. We have chaos draft with a lot of content creators. For example, Zio Francone. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah,
but
tomorrow,
you will be.
tomorrow we will have to win a draft. So
You need to teach them how to draft correctly.
It will be. We will do the streaming tomorrow, and then afterward I will get into the play, into the motion.
Before we go, I strongly suggest you to follow this guy, Zio Francone, MTG, on Twitch, on Instagram, because he's one of the my favorite and one of the most skilled Italian player in the field.
You're my best advertiser today.
Yeah, now I'm gonna kiss you, so prepare yourself.
Get in line, there are a lot of people.
So thank you for being here today with the top Pauper player, with 10 rounds of Pauper. I want to thank BooseMtG, Lega, all the staff of Lega Pauper Italia, and for sure the staff of QuartaParete that provides this live today and for the rest of the weekend. Thank you again, Zio Francone.
And we will see you tomorrow for day 1 of Paupergeddon.
Mwah.